David Morrow sat on the balcony of his apartment, sipping coffee, enjoying the tranquil beauty of the Pacific Ocean. The rhythmic crash of waves and the soft ocean breeze created an idyllic moment. From his vantage point, the world seemed calm, with nothing to hint at the chaos that would soon erupt. Just 5 miles away, on the hills of the Saddles near Pacific Palia, something caught his eye, a faint glimmer, unusual against the green and brown hues of the landscape. Within minutes, what seemed like a small spark turned into a raging fire. Bright orange flames licked the horizon, devouring dry vegetation with an almost unstoppable hunger. In less than an hour, the fire engulfed the surrounding mountains, sending plumes of thick black smoke into the sky. The smoke cloud was so massive, it was clearly visible on satellite imagery, spreading an eerie shadow over the region. The wildfire's ferocity was unprecedented. From the Saddles, the flames spread rapidly to neighboring areas: Eatonhurst, Kenneth Getty, Screwball, and eventually the San Fernando Valley. The destruction was staggering. 38,000 acres of land, equivalent to 150 square kilometers, were reduced to ashes. Over 12,000 buildings, including homes and businesses, were incinerated, leaving more than 180,000 people displaced from their communities. The firefighting efforts faced enormous challenges. California's ongoing water shortages left fire hydrants dry, forcing crews to rely on water bombers carrying 45,000 liters of water at a time. But even this was barely a drop in the ocean against the scale of the inferno. Special chemicals were deployed to contain the flames, yet the relentless winds and nature's fury rendered these efforts almost futile. This devastating wildfire joins a long list of catastrophic blazes that have plagued California over the past 25 years. The 2003 Cedar Fire, one of the largest in state history, burned through 273,000 acres in San Diego County. In 2017, the Thomas Fire scorched 280,000 acres, devastating entire communities. The 2018 Camp Fire stands out not only for its destruction, 500,000 acres burned, but also for the 17 lives it claimed. Even more recently, the 2020 Glass Fire consumed 67,000 acres, leaving a trail of devastation. A closer look at these events reveals a striking pattern. Most of California's wildfires occur during winter, driven by the infamous Santa Ana winds. These hot, dry winds transform the state's vegetation into tinder, creating perfect conditions for fires to ignite and spread uncontrollably. The Santa Ana winds are a notorious force of nature in Southern California, playing a critical role in the region's wildfire crises. These hot, dry winds originate in inland deserts, such as the Mojave, and blow westward toward the ocean. Their formation is driven by pressure differences between the high-pressure desert air and the cooler, low-pressure coastal air. As the winds funnel through mountain passes and canyons, they accelerate, gaining intensity and stripping moisture from everything in their path. This desiccation leaves vegetation, already parched by California's arid climate, highly flammable, effectively transforming it into a vast reservoir of tinder. Once ignited, this vegetation fuels the spread of wildfires at alarming speeds. This particular wildfire behaved in ways that baffled meteorologists and firefighters alike. Unlike typical wildfires that follow the flow of the Santa Ana winds toward the ocean, this blaze defied expectations by starting near the coast and spreading inland. The culprit? A rare atmospheric phenomenon known as the mountain wave rotor. When strong winds encounter mountain ranges, they rise over the windward side and descend on the leeward side, creating turbulent airflow. Under certain conditions, these winds form rotating vortices near the ground, reversing the wind's direction. In this case, the mountain wave rotor caused gusts to push the fire back inland, propelling it into densely populated areas that were ill-prepared for such an event. Adding to the wildfire's unpredictability and destruction were fire tornadoes, towering vortices of flame, ash, and smoke that spiral violently into the sky. These phenomena occur when intense heat from a fire creates powerful updrafts, drawing in cooler air at ground level. If wind conditions are right, this rising air begins to rotate, forming a vortex. As the fire tornado expands, it pulls in more oxygen, fueling its own intensity and spreading flames across wider areas. Fire tornadoes not only amplify the speed and scale of destruction, but also make firefighting efforts nearly impossible. Their erratic behavior and sheer power create chaos on the ground, often forcing evacuation efforts to be accelerated and leaving emergency responders scrambling to predict their next move. Climate change has emerged as a significant driver behind the increasing frequency and intensity of wildfires worldwide. Rising global temperatures have intensified drought conditions, leaving vegetation dry and highly flammable. In regions like California, these dry conditions, combined with strong winds and unpredictable weather patterns, create the perfect storm for wildfire outbreaks. Additionally, warmer temperatures prolong fire seasons, reducing the natural periods of reprieve that ecosystems need to recover. Without proactive measures to address climate change, the scale and frequency of wildfires will continue to rise, threatening lives, ecosystems, and economies. Now more than ever, collective global action is essential to mitigate these impacts and adapt to a rapidly changing climate. Advances in technology have provided new tools to monitor and combat wildfires. Artificial intelligence is increasingly being used to predict fire spread and identify high-risk areas before fires occur. Satellite imagery, machine learning algorithms, and real-time data analysis allow authorities to map fire-prone regions and deploy resources strategically. However, these efforts are not without challenges. The unpredictable behavior of wildfires, especially when influenced by phenomena like fire tornadoes or unusual wind patterns, can outpace even the most sophisticated models. Firefighters on the front lines often face rapidly changing conditions that render pre-planned strategies obsolete, underscoring the need for continuous innovation in fire prevention and response. The history of wildfires in the United States offers valuable lessons for understanding and mitigating these disasters. One of the deadliest wildfires in U.S. history occurred in Michigan in 1871, burning 1.2 million acres and claiming over 2,500 lives. The fire was fueled by drought conditions and poor land management, including widespread logging that left vast amounts of flammable debris. This tragic event highlighted the critical importance of land management and early intervention. Today, these historical lessons guide modern practices, emphasizing the need for controlled burns, vegetation management, and early detection systems to reduce the risk of catastrophic fires. Wildfires are a stark reminder of our planet's vulnerability and the urgency of addressing climate change. Each fire leaves behind a trail of destruction, but it also serves as a call to action for all of us to work toward a sustainable future. Proactive measures, including reducing greenhouse gas emissions, improving fire prevention strategies, and supporting technological advancements, are crucial in this fight. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and comment to help raise awareness about the increasing threat of wildfires. Together, we can take steps to protect our planet, safeguard lives, and prevent such disasters from escalating. Let's make a difference, one step at a time.